Guys, Ailoupup here, and today it's my November 2016 wrap-up, where I talk a little bit about all the books I read in the month of November. Jumping right in, I actually only read 3 books this month, and I started with Bleak by Charles Dickens. I picked this up for $1 at a dollar store years ago, and only because it was a Charles Dickens book, but I never really had much of a desire to read it. Honestly, as I was reading, I found it really hard to get through, mostly because I did find it difficult to understand what was happening. It partly follows Lady Dedlock, who had a child by another lover before she married, and who she believes to be dead. But it also partly follows that child all grown up. There's also a court case that it sort of revolves around, known as Jarndyce and Jarndyce. I just found it really confusing, and I didn't really understand what was going on. I feel bad because it is a Charles Dickens book. I've heard good things about his work, but I just couldn't get into it. For this reason, I only gave it a 3 out of 5. Next, I read Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. This was a book I really wasn't sure if I wanted to read, honestly, because I know that this is such a beloved book, and because of the style of the book, I wasn't sure if I was going to like it, because it's just so different from what I'm used to. But when I actually did start to read it, I was so amazed by actually how much I really loved it. For those who don't know, Pride and Prejudice follows Elizabeth Bennet, who, when she first meets Mr. Fitzwilliam Darcy, thinks he's arrogant and conceited. Who begins a splendid performance of civilized sparring. I had a hard time actually describing this book, so I actually did go onto Goodreads to see what it said there. As such, that may end up just being how I continue to describe the book. I see myself coming back to reread this book once a year or so. I'm actually almost tempted to start rereading it now. I'm really only disappointed in the fact that it took me 22 years to actually get to it. This a 5 out of 5. Finally, I read A Night of the Word by Terry Brooks. I'll have a review up for this one shortly, so I won't talk too much about it here. This book takes place about 5 years after the events in the previous book, Running with the Demon, and again follows Ness Freemark. This time she is taken to Seattle in order to find John Ross and convince him that he is making a big mistake by turning his back on the Word. I didn't find this book as hard to get through as I have others by him, and I actually think that this is probably one of the better books by him. As this is set 5 years after Running with the Demon, there are changes between the personalities of the characters who appeared in Running with the Demon and are also in this book. It's especially Ness Freemark herself and John Ross, which are as it should be since they are the main characters of this series. I gave this book a 4 out of 5. These are all the books I read in the month of November. Let me know in the comments what you read or are reading, and I will see you next time. So thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more book-related videos from me.